Okay, I think we can go. Can I just check that you can hear me? If Michael or someone can let me know.
Yep.
Okay, great. So welcome to everyone on the call, and thanks for joining this webinar where we'll go over the exhibition at WCN. So if I just do a quick round of introductions for those on the ISN team. We have Michael, who is the Meetings and Events Director. Paolo, who is the Congress Project Manager, and Paolo is managing the industry symposia logistics in particular. We have Alex Kelly, the Business Development Administrator. And if you have a space in the Global Nephrology Village, you've likely been in touch with Alex. And then my name is Charlie, and I'm the Business Development Manager. So we all work very closely as a team, and if you have any questions, you can direct it at any one of us, and we'll make sure the right person is in touch. And then joining us today from Cover is Paul. Cover is the provider of the event platform, and their team is based in Belgium.
Correct. Good afternoon, everyone.
So today is the first webinar in a series targeted for our industry partners. The first will go over information for exhibitors, either in the industry showcase or the Global Nephrology Village. And if you're not aware of the difference between the two, the industry showcase is our traditional exhibition area. And the Global Nephrology Village is an exhibition area where we have invited our ISN affiliated and collective member societies. So they operate in exactly the same way technically, and in terms of organization also, but they're just in two different areas, which we will we'll show you a little bit later how you access those areas as a delegate. So these are the agendas that will be covered for the different webinars. As the exhibitors are, of course, coming from all over, we've tried to schedule them at different times. So today is at 4. The next one will be at 9 in the morning, CET time. And this should make these a bit more accessible for all the different time zones. And of course, these webinars are all being recorded and will be shared afterwards on the exhibitor manuals for you to refer back to. The third industry webinar will focus on industry symposia. That will be organized by Paolo. So if you do have any questions specifically around sympos, I just ask that you would save these for that particular webinar, and we'll try to do the logistics of exhibition today. So how it will work, I will take you through the setting up of a booth and also the setup of registrations. And during the presentation, if you have any questions, you can put these into the chat, and my colleague Paolo is going to be monitoring the chat and helping to answer. And if not, the whole team can help to answer. And then at the end of the webinar, there'll be time for, we can turn off our, unmute ourselves and ask any questions that you have. So for the next slide, I'm going to pass over to Michael to give an overview of the Congress and the format that it will be in.
Thank you, Charlie. First of all, we wanted to really thank you on behalf of the leadership of ISN and our host societies for your contributions and your participation, your active participation in the Congress, which is really very important and really very valuable to us. Our leadership, who is working very hard on putting an excellent Congress together, is chaired by Professor Jia, who is, of course, also the ISN president until the Congress. We are also very lucky to have continued support from the Canadian Society as well as the Quebec Society. As you know, this meeting was originally planned to take place in Montreal. And of course, a lot of Canadian content was planned to be presented. So we're very pleased and we're very grateful that we have the continued support from our Canadian partners, even though the meeting is going virtual. And then we have, of course, a fantastic scientific program working group that is chaired by Professor Sharp from the UK, and that has Professor Hamilgarn from Canada and Robin Langham from Australia as deputies chair. They've all been working also very hard in preparing a wonderful and broad program, but they've also worked very hard to transform it and adapt it for digital. So these are some of the faces that are working hard on the Congress. If you don't mind going to the next slide, Charlie. I just wanted to give you a quick introduction on the Congress and the activities that we have designed around it. It's turned out to be, as we know, having the virtual Congress allows us to present our content on demand for a long time after the actual live stream. But we've also added some exciting new features. We're really trying to develop a program, a virtual program that we can learn from, and we can implement some new elements there that we can take also with us in the years and next Congresses to come. That will probably be still having a stronger hybrid model. We're starting the Congress already the week prior to the actual dates with a special session, a special series that we have baptized the Raising the Curtain sessions. These are actually sessions that have open access for our entire community, and they are sessions that are hosted by our national and regional societies around the world. We really wanted them to be as engaged, as we are a global community, we wanted them to be as engaged with the Congress as much as possible. So we're starting these, so we've organized this special program sort of in an east to west sort of pattern. So we're starting on Monday the 12th with a session hosted by our Australian and New Zealand Society. Then next is a session by our Japanese and Korea, our Asian Pacific Society. And then we're moving westwards towards our European societies. On Tuesday, our Latin American societies will present their work on Wednesday. So that we were sort of leading up, it's almost like a Olympic relay. We're leading up to the Congress opening on that Friday. We also want to use this as a vehicle to drive last minute registration from our national communities. So that's an exciting new feature that we hope will be successful. Of course, our pre-Congress courses content will be posted available on demand in the days before the Congress. And then we have our live courses. We have our live courses starting on April the 15th. Then the Congress kicks off on April 16th. So this is when all of the features on the Congress, on the platform, are fully live and accessible for everybody. We have the exhibition, our full program runs, we have our film event, or some other features that we'll show later. So that runs between April 16 and 19. Just as a reminder, the program sessions run on a Canadian time format, so accessible in the morning for North America and South American regions, and then in the afternoon for Europe, and then late afternoon in the evening for the more Eastern regions, for Asia, Asia Pacific. We do accommodate the Asian Pacific, the extreme regions that for whom it really is difficult to connect, by having a daily highlight session that is scheduled in their time zone, that will also have live contact and sort of has some key presentations of that day. And then, of course, all content the platform will remain accessible for the, 5 or 6 weeks following the Congress. So all of the recordings of the sessions, the poster area, showcase, and all the features will remain accessible for all registered participants on demand. So that is sort of how the Congress week will look like. Charlie, I'll give it back to you at this point, right?
Yeah, thanks, Michael.
Thank you.
Okay, so I will dive into the booth building. I just wanted to highlight the two main tools that you would have received, the manuals and the industry portal. So the manuals are split into different sections. If I just open this up. And for the booth building, the important tab here is the uploading content. So this should be the first place that you go to check the content that you can upload and the different specifications for each of those items. And this is the showcase manual, and then there's a separate manual for the village. And then the industry portal, which you should have received your login to, is where you will provide us with your registrations and is where you can build your booth. So the logins, if you haven't received, just send me over an email. It's usually, the username is usually your surname dot first name. And because we cannot share the passwords with you, you first need to set your password when you log on by typing your username and clicking forget password. So that will allow you to reset it. Okay, so in the industry portal, just very quickly explain how it is laid out. You have your personal details here. These are not public anywhere for the purpose of the booth. The important documents here, you can find copies of any invoices that you've received or confirmations of registrations. The industry showcase is the online booth building form. If you have a SIMPO, you will be able to submit here. These two buttons are relevant for your registrations, links to the manuals, and then at the bottom are just some settings for your account and password. So I'm gonna click on this button to build my booth. And I'm gonna use the example of a 3-star industry showcase. It differs slightly between the either a village or the 1-star, 2-star, and 3-star in the showcase, but you'll be able to see the differences in the manual beforehand. So I've pre-filled in a couple of these fields. The company name will be the one that's public. And here you have your company description. So you can, it's 1,000 characters max. You can do some formatting in here. There's a couple different heading styles that you can play around with and different formatting. You can link in the company description as so, and with this button here. Include in the company description, you should include, of course, the description, but also the social media handles and your contacts. So for the 3-star, there's 5 contacts, and these can be inputted in any kind of format that you prefer. You would input your address, company website. And for the logos, it requires 2 different formats. This is just because they're used in different areas of the website. It's important that you stick to the ratio of the dimensions. So as long as it's a minimum of these dimensions, you can go higher, but just so you stick to the ratios. And I believe that if you do upload an image with incorrect dimensions, it will let you know and it will show an error message. Then the main contact field it's different to the contacts that you input into the company description, in that you'll see in the preview, but this is the person who will receive any emails that people leave you as a message on your booth. So it can be, I would recommend that it be a general email. So you could put product information, info@theisn.org. Okay. And then on the second step is where you can configure who can access your booth. So if you need to change the access depending on the status of the delegate, you can change it here. It's automatically set so that everyone can access. But if you need it so that only healthcare professionals can access, then you would untick here. Later on, I'll show you, you can change the which content is viewed by status and country also. And here you can upload your videos. I'm just uploading a sample one for you to see. And it just takes 1 minute or 2 to show in the preview. Some booths will be asked to upload a banner. So again, the specifications are here. And then the live chat section. So this, if you turn this on, it will enable delegates who come to your booth to be able to talk to you. It will pop up as a little icon on the bottom. You can check it out on the WCN website. We're using currently the talk feature. And they're given a list of some popular providers, just in the case that you might be already using one of these for your websites. But if not, the one that we would suggest to use is Talk. Talk is one that doesn't require any paid subscription. So before you come to build your booth, you would go to talk.io and set up an account and then copy the account number here. So that will link it to your booth. In the next webinar on March 10th, we'll give some more information about this live chat feature, and we're going to do a demo of how it looks on your side and go through all the details of that. But the live chat is an external technology, so you do not necessarily have to be logged in with your exhibitor badge to use this. And the third section is where you will upload your PDFs. So I've just pre-filled these. The PDF name, as far as I'm aware, is not public anywhere. That's just internal. But you do have to make sure that all the names are different from each other. If they're all the same, it will not show the PDF. And here you have 2 pieces of content that you upload for your PDF. The first is the button, and then the second is the actual PDF document. And then below, like I said previously, you can edit the access to the content. So here you can edit for healthcare professionals only, and you can also add specific countries that you may or may not want to be able to view the PDF. And what it will do is, if you do it this way, everyone can access your booth, but when they're looking at the PDF, they won't be able to click on it and it will be blurred on the button. Okay, so this is the last part. You can save under any name. This will not be public, and click save. It's important to note that you have to go through all these steps and press save. If you exited at any point during that, it won't save any of your progress, but you can go through all the steps. For example, if you don't upload the videos or the banner, it will still let you go through and save it as a draft. And then here is where you can preview your booth. So this is an idea of how it will look. Obviously, the booth will be inputted into the WCN platform. So it may look slightly different, but this gives you an idea. So you have your company description. The logo will appear here. And here's that main contact. And the main contact is linked to this leave a question or comment. So if you have your live chat turned off, or you choose not to have live chat on your booth, a delegate can always pass by and leave a question through here, and that will send an email to your main contact. You can see the PDFs here and your 2 videos. So I think I've also copied in. Yeah, this is an example from another Congress, just to give you a better idea of what you can do with those PDF buttons. You can have them as the front page of the PDF that you're uploading, or you can design something in this kind of format. Okay, so the booths, the deadline to finalize the booths is April 9th. The exhibition opens on the 15th, as Michael said, but you can make changes to your booth throughout WCN, and then when it's also open until May 31st. So you can adapt your content depending on the time. The portal will remain open, but we just ask that you have it prepared for the 9th. As a 3-star industry showcase, you would have the option to have this style of booth, or you can choose to have a 3D booth or a microsite. So I'll just very quickly show you how that looks. If you wanted a 3D booth, you need to just notify us by email, and we will switch it over on our side. And the form is exactly the same. It will ask, the only difference is you need to set the look and feel of your booth with the 3 different colors. I'll just continue through and show you the preview. So what it will do is import all of the content that you have uploaded into an already existing 3D render. So you wouldn't have to provide any designs for this. And you can play around with the colors. The content is, for the PDF content, you have PDF 1, 2, 3, 4 here on the back wall. And then the left literature stand will be 3, and the right literature stand will be 6. Yeah. And just to note that on a mobile phone device, the 3D render will not show to a delegate, but all of the information below is still going to be viewable. And if you choose the microsite option, so if you've already got a website set up that you are using for congresses, then what you will do is during the booth building forum in the company description, just copy in the URL for us, and we will make sure that we link it to send delegates to your microsite when they click on your logo. Okay. So for registrations, there are two different types. You have your showcase, which is the kind of exhibitor badge, and the full Congress. So depending on your booking, you would have received a number of either type. And these just shows here the different access that you have for each badge. The showcase are actually unlimited. So I will show you in a moment how you can add these to your group. Everyone's been added, I think, one already. But these are free to add, the point being that you can, as many as you need for you to staff your booth or do your operations. And the full Congress will give access to all areas of the WCN platform. So if I just go back to the portal, so to see what you currently have in your registration group, you want to click on the first button. And this will give you an overview of your registrations. So here it will say, we have 4 here, showcase badge, no fee. And on this page is where you can also add another participant. So I'll just go through and test this out. So here you can select the industry showcase badge, however many you may need. And if you need, we'll test also a paying registration option. So you just tick that you accept the terms. And you click on this Pay Now button. After payment is received, it will then allow you to complete the badge names. So if you haven't done that step yet, it's not going to show up in the overview that I just showed. And there will be 2 options for the payment. It can be this form, where you can request the bank transfer. So I'll just go back to the badge name button. Okay, so to provide the names, you can click on the edit button. Use Ilaria. That. Okay, fine. And then make sure that you click update. If the person already exists in our system, you can select from this pop-up here. And if not, it will just create a new registration for them. So these changes will save automatically, and just to go back, you click the back to overview. So the deadline to complete the badge names is April 2nd. And then if you could just remind everybody in your group which has been registered to log into the portal before WCN begins, because they will need to reset their password so that they can access WCN and there's no delay. Okay, I'll just pass you back to Michael to show you the look and feel of the Congress.
Thank you, Charlie. I will briefly just wanted to show you the basic functionality of the main Congress platform. The platform is designed to have the easiest navigation for the participants so that it's very clear for them to browse around the different sections. At the same time, we want it to be a complete showcase of a number of Congress sessions and features and elements of the ISN and show our society and our host society and everything that we do. On the platform, what you have is on the left side of the screen of the image here, you see sort of the main navigation bar. So from here, this is what people will see when they log in. And then on the left side, they can easily navigate to the different sections. So the program has the full program schedule. We have the showcase, the exhibition, of course, navigation directly to the industry program and sessions, networking features as well. And those buttons are sort of replicated in the main graphic. So when people click on the posters in the main graphic, as well on the posters on the left side navigation, it leads them to the same poster area, basically. We've tried to make the graphic and the look and feel as engaging and as inclusive and as possible for our global community. If you want to go to the next slide, we want to show you also the graphic of what we call the Maple Leaf Plaza, which is kind of a joke for our Canadian participants. We do want to bring a certain Canadian feel to it. The Maple Leaf Plaza is really the area where we showcase ISN as a society and special features. So from here, participants can navigate to the ISN community film event, which you may have heard about. We have solicited short film submissions and have a selection of 7 really wonderful movies that we're showcasing, and participants can vote during the Congress for the winner, which will be announced on the Sunday. This plaza also features some galleries to our award winners, to our projects and works and leadership, people that would normally be recognized at the in-person event as well. There's also a link to our WCN Daily. We are recording a daily news broadcast, which is a short 2-3 minute video which highlights sessions and the activities of that day. And there's a number of other areas here featured that provide information to our participants. So this is kind of the networking area as well. And then I think the next slide will show you what the participants will see when they enter the showcase. So this is where your logos, your booths will feature, and where the participants will click to enter the areas that you will design. Back to you, Charlie.
Thanks. Yeah, and just to say again that these are the draft designs. So we're hoping by the next Exhibitor webinar, we can show you some more solid examples from the platform. But this is just to give you an idea of how it will look and how delegates will navigate. Okay, I just wanted to take some time to explain the different networking streams that we have available at the Congress. We've put importance on networking for this virtual event. So we've decided on a couple of different methods that we can really get delegates to engage with each other and with the exhibitors. So the first thing we have is the live chat. So that is the live chat on your booth. So when delegates visit your booth, they can have the option to talk with exhibitors. And as I said, it's an external technology, so you don't have to be logged in as an exhibitor to use this. And it can also be turned off. The second is the networking page. So this is the list of the delegates attending WCN, and it will show, you can filter them by different things such as country and interests, and it will show when a delegate is online. And you can reach out to this person, and there's the function to have a video chat or just a text chat. And with this feature, it is integrated with your booth. So here's how you can see who has visited your booth in real time. So as soon as somebody visits a booth, they are automatically joined into your booth's conversation. And you'll see something similar to this. So yeah, if an exhibitor is logged into the networking tool, they can monitor this list and see who has been the stand and then reach out to this person. And the third is the topical networking rooms. So we're organizing interactive rooms for delegates to join, and they mostly are organized for in-between sessions for half an hour on different topics. These topics have been suggested and approved by the scientific working group. And the rooms are they're powered by this here spatial chat. And it really allows a delegate to join a room and move their avatar around the room and to join conversations to try to sort of replicate as much as possible the feeling of networking for an on-site event. There'll be opportunities to post videos and pictures in these different rooms. When you walk up to a conversation, that it will get louder, and as you walk away, it quietens down. So these topical networking rooms are going to be in the next WCN eBlast in March with the list of the topics. And then we also wanted to mention the social media wall. So anybody can post on social media, and if they use the official hashtag, which is the ISN WCN, it will pull that post into the social media wall. So it's actually live, so we encourage you to post on there to use before the Congress begins also. Okay, and just before I open up for some questions, I wanted to take this opportunity to share our next World Congress taking place in Malaysia in 2022. The website is live as of yesterday, I believe, so you can visit there and have a look, and there'll be more information on the exhibition and industry opportunities coming in the next couple of months. So I will stop here. Please feel free to unmute yourselves, or Paul will help me to do that, and ask any questions, or also you can use the text chat as well.
Charlie, there are already some questions in the chat. Would you like me to read them?
Yeah, please.
So the first one is, as the platform remains open from 20th April, how can the showcase live chat widgets continue to be manned, or is it the exception for delegates to use a message function?
So it's up to the exhibitor how they want to manage that. You can, after the 20th, you could go into the booth form and deactivate the live chat function. If you leave it on and nobody is manning the chat, then yeah, some questions might go unanswered. So you might want to turn it off, or you can direct people to use the message, which will send their message to the main contact. Is that okay, Hal?
Another question, will need to create a special chat account or profile to participate, or will it be conducted through the WCN Congress platform?
Yeah, we chose the spatial chat technology because there is a minimal amount of, say, registration, but it's really, you just have to put in your name, and you can also add some extra information. It's like an about me. So it will take you straight to the room, you add your name, and you won't have to create any kind of extra registration for that.
There are also other questions, but probably since we are all live now, maybe our participants would like to ask these questions live, or shall I read the questions again?
I think we can hear from some exhibitors if they want to.
Alain asked 3 questions in a row, so maybe he would like to ask them directly.
Yes, thank you. I actually asked 4 questions. The first one was in general because I didn't listen. Charlie, where would this recording be available again?
So we'll upload the link to the exhibitor manual.
Okay, got it. Okay, and so the other questions are maybe some of them are already asked about the platform, and will it be available to anyone or just the registered participant, the open platform?
Yeah. So to access the platform from any time, you will need to be registered. The only exception would be the Open Access Industry Symposia, but you would still have to register. Okay.
And my second question was about the Global Nephrology Village. You explained the difference, but who has access to it? Is it depending on the level of your sponsorship, or?
So that everyone has access to the village. It's just split in that we have our member societies in there. If the showcase badges, so the exhibitor badges, have access to the village, industry showcase, and the networking. And then the full Congress has access to everything.
Got it, okay. And my last question was about what you said. You need to provide the URL in order for to enable when you click on your logo that it directs you to the 3D booth. Did I understand that correctly, or?
So if you have booked a 3-star booth in the industry showcase, there's an option for you to, instead of having the booth that I showed, including that 3D render, you can also give us a URL to your company's Congress microsite. So in that case, then you would just put the URL in the company description, and we would link it so that when a delegate enters your booth, they're taken to this separate website that you have provided. Does that make sense?
I got it. Okay, it's okay.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thanks. Are there any other questions?
Yeah, hi Charlie, this is Howell here. Thank you for the presentation. It's very helpful. My questions are regarding metrics. So the first one is, I understand that we will be receiving our metrics report after WCN. Now, just to clarify, will that be after the date of the live dates, which is the April 19th, or will that be after the platform closes, which is May 31st? And so if we get them after the live dates, are we going to get kind of a metrics report again for the remainder of time to understand how our exhibit, or how our showcase has been doing during that period?
Yeah, good question. You will receive daily, so this is at the end of the day in CET time zone, your metric report of your booth, and it will be the rough data. So we'll send that over every day. And then at the end of WCN on the 19th, you will receive a cleaned up version. So we're put into different graphs and more readable. Mm-hmm. At the end of WCN, so the 30th, after the 31st of May, we will do that again for you so you can see the statistics from being on demand.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. And then just my second question regarding metrics is, so I understand that delegates have, they can opt out of sharing their information, which is totally understandable. I suppose, how can we, regarding the, the interactions with our showcase, how can we distinguish um, or identify those participants between, for example, industry or HCP? I know that we can, I suppose, restrict who can, who can click or on our PDFs, for example, or open up our videos. But let's say if we wanted to leave it open for both industry and HCP, how can we distinguish between those, and especially if delegates are opting out of sharing the information, and secondly, is there a way for us, to be able to remove our own internal staff hits as well? So like, I know that we will have, employees who will also be, delegates at the Congress, who will then visit our booth and click on and download the PDFs and open the videos. Is there a method for us to be able to remove those? Because obviously for us, that's not information we need to capture.
Yeah. So currently, there is no distinguishment of access for industry to the booth or the content, but in the metrics report, it will show the lines of everyone that's visited your booth, and those who have opted to share their information, it will show their full details. And then if they haven't, it will show the line of the visit, but it will be blank. And in those blank ones, it will still show the minimum information that they have to share, which I believe is country, registration type, and I need to have a look at the last one, but the information that doesn't identify them. And so by the registration type, you'll be able to see if it's an industry, full Congress, or a showcase badge. So you would be able to take those out of your data if you wanted to see who has attended your booth that isn't your staff or another industry participant.
Yeah, but
is that clear?
Yeah, no, that's absolutely clear. So there wouldn't be a way for us to, for instance, if 10 of those downloads are from our own internal staff, we wouldn't be able to have those. If they choose not to share the info, we wouldn't be able to recognize them as our own internal employees.
Only by their registration type.
Just by the registration type. Yeah. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Valerie has got a couple of questions. Valerie, would you like to ask these questions live to Charlie, please?
Yes, okay. The PDF section, I started to upload all of our information and I was not able to upload PDFs. I saw the little bubble and I kind of hovered over it, but I wasn't able to add anything.
So you should be able to, as a Global Nephrology Village exhibitor. So that's likely just a technical thing, which I can investigate for you.
Okay. And the other thing was the logos. You mentioned there's two logos. The smaller sized logo I was able to upload, and the larger one, I think it's like 960 by 400. I had our designer design that for us, and I told her that we couldn't get it to upload. It kept saying that it was too small, I think it was saying. So she adjusted it several times and we tried 3 different sizes, and I still couldn't get that one to upload either. I was able to upload the 960 into the 160 size, but not the larger one.
Okay. Paul, would you advise anything here?
Hello, yes. I think the best in the cases where it's really not working would be to get in touch with the WCN team and actually send that particular file so we can analyze and see whether it is not meeting the specifications or if there's another issue.
Okay, and who do I need to send that to?
You can send that to me, Charlie.
Okay, I will get that sent over to you this afternoon then. Thank you. Those were all my questions.
Thank you.
We have another question from Violetta. Can you please ask this question? Maybe it's important also for other exhibitors / industry symposium organizers.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Paolo. Thank you, Charlie, for the presentation. It's lovely to see how things will work out. So our questions are for the lobby adverts that would be displayed on each side when the delegates enter the entrance hall. We were just wondering whether we should indicate on them a verbiage like please go to industry symposia or please go to industry showcase. And also, we know that the symposia will be available after the live slot, so it's going to be available on demand, but we were wondering what type of verbiage we could include on those adverts to let the delegates know.
Yes, so in theory, you could put both of these options. And you may want to word for the industry symposia, you could word it as live broadcast at this time on this date, available on demand thereafter. And for the industry showcase, you can have both of those advertised on that in the lobby room.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions since we are almost running to the end of the webinar?
Okay, I would just, whilst we have a few minutes left, feel free to ask any questions, but I will just take the time to share this next slide, which captures our registrations from across the world. So registrations, the numbers and the sort of data from WCN will be shared after the event. But this just gives you a good idea of how things are progressing registration-wise. We had our early bird deadline on the 17th last week, and the registrations are doing very well. You can see from here that North America, the darker colors indicate the highest registration. So coming from North America, Canada, India and the UK are some of the higher countries. But again, this will be shared after WCN with the full data. And for the exhibition opening times, it is an international event, but the sessions, as Michael said, are running from 8 in the morning till 2 p.m. Montreal time. So that's the standard time, which equals the early afternoon for Europe, and then later on in the evening for India, I believe. So because of this, there are no specific opening times where we are asking you to be available at your booth. But if you wanted to be aligned with the session times, they are 8 till 2 Montreal time. And as I said, you can turn your live chat on or off as you wish.
Charlie, may I make a comment on the live chat features? Most of those providers actually have a feature where when you turn off the operation, that you can leave the applet open on the side, and then when people post a message into it, it will generate an email to the operator. Rather than generating a live chat, it will still capture that, and the operator will get those messages by email to then follow up.
Thanks, Paul. Okay. If there aren't any more questions, then I think we can end the webinar, and we're nicely on time. So thank you to everyone for joining, and thank you for your support and participation at WCN. If you have any questions, send them over to me, and we can direct you to the right person.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Okay.
Charlie. Have a great day or evening.
Thank you all. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Everyone, bye.